Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this channel where we customize just about anything, and pretty much if it's physical and we can paint it, we'll definitely customize it. So in this particular project, we're going to do another controller, and we did partner up with a custom controllers, and we're doing a Dragon Ball Z design, and it's gonna be all wrapped in this cool art. And there's a lot of pieces that need to be painted, and the process is going to be a little bit hard because we want the design to wrap around the entire controller. So let's go ahead and get started with this very cool project. All right, we've already pre-sanded the controller, and all we got to do is wipe it down and get some of that oil off, and that's what we're doing here. So as you can see, we're working on this controller here, but in the video you might see additional parts for a different controller, so just disregard those, and we're going to be focusing just on this one. All right, I'm going to spray everything with Audubon sealer, and of course it's going to make it a little bit easier for that acrylic to stick, and of course prevent any additional chemicals or anything like that coming through the paint and giving you some weird reaction. So that is a good thing to have. So the majority of the controller is going to have a universe type look and feel to it, so we're going to paint everything in black, and of course we're adding a little bit of Audubon sealer into that black as well. This way every layer that we apply on there, it's pretty durable and it doesn't peel off, because we will be doing a lot of masking and a lot of taping, so I want to make sure that that paint doesn't come off and peel off. You know, one of the things that you have to think about when doing something new, or you're gonna paint something, is always trying to figure out how it's going to stand, how are you gonna hold it, or are you gonna hang the part. If it's gonna be a big part, maybe you can hang it from a tree or from your garage and stuff like that. So you have to kind of think of that before you start painting, because if you start painting and you suddenly have to move the part, obviously you're gonna get fingerprints on it, and you don't want to do that. So just think ahead of time and figure out how you're gonna hold the part while you're painting it. So in this case, obviously the center is not gonna get painted, it's gonna get covered by a different part, so I can hold it there and not worry about getting any fingerprints on it. All right, looks like everything is dry, so I'm gonna put just a very thin coat of Audubon sealer. I may mix it with a little bit of water just so it's even thinner. It says you shouldn't mix it with water, but I'm doing it anyway. So I'm gonna do a little light coat and be ready to apply the next layer. So to get a uniform look all the way around the controller, I have to put the controller together and spray it all together at once. This way the seams kind of look seamless, and the art continues all the way around and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and put it together, and now that we have it together, we're gonna start making it look like a universe. So I'll be adding some blue, some pink, some purple, some greens and stuff like that onto the controller, making it look like a universe. So I want to add a little bit of white underneath. This way these colors really pop out and stand out. All right, let's add some color. The cool thing about the internet nowadays is that you can find a lot of reference pictures and photos and stuff like that. So whatever you're working on, you can always find some sort of reference online, and it'll help you kind of get the details on there. So kind of use a reference picture to get the coloring and get an idea of how I can apply that on this controller. So that's always a good thing. And yeah, it looks like it's doing pretty good. So let's add some blue on here and finish this off so we can continue on with the next layer. All right, and it looks like we're done adding all the colors. So there was a lot of overspray with these colors, so it kind of you know, ate away the black, if you will. So I'm gonna reapply a little bit of darkness in there and add some more black in there. This way I can get a little bit more contrast there, because it looks like everything's a little washed out. So let's add that and bring that back to life. All right, and it looks like everything's looking pretty good. I'm really pleased with how it's coming out. So last thing we gotta do is apply more stars. So I'm just gonna throw a little bit more paint on there and apply some more stars, and then we'll go ahead and be ready to clear this and then move on to adding some of the characters on the front and the back. All right, everything's dry, and let's go ahead and disassemble the controller because we're gonna clear it. I don't want to apply clear when everything's assembled because it will bind together, and then in order for you to take it apart, you would have to use a blade to cut through the clear. Don't make that mistake, because you'll be sitting around trying to cut the clear out of there, and that's going to take you a long time. The clear has sanded, and we've gone ahead and sanded everything down. All the high spots are kind of leveled down, and we're gonna go ahead and clean it to remove any additional oils that got on there with our fingerprints. Let's get to painting, and we're gonna do the cover first, and we're just gonna paint a simple black on there. Let's move to the back of the controller, and we're just gonna apply these stencils on there, cover everything, and spray that in orange. The base coat orange has already dried, so I'm going to come back with a regular brush and apply some more details using a little bit darker orange and then adding some highlights. Alright, it looks like everything is dry, and let's remove the stencil and see what that looks like. One trick that I like to do is to apply the stencil in one go and not removing any of the negative space, and I'm able to then peel one piece at a time, allowing me to then leave the shape or the line depending on how dark the paint is, and this way it gives me a good idea of you know, obviously where the line is, and I can come back and add more detail to that area. At this point, we started putting detail in the face, and we're still using airbrush paint. It is a little bit watered down, but I tend to like it better than just using, you know, straight acrylic out of the bottle, because that's too thick. And this way it does act almost like a watercolor, and you are able to get somewhat of a little different hues when you're working and applying different layers. And just a side note, we are able to ship worldwide, so if you have anything you want to get customized, we can definitely customize it and ship it directly to you no matter where you're at in the world. So we've done it before, and yeah, we love shipping things out to other countries, and it's always fun to know that you guys are watching. So let us know if you guys need anything customized. And guys, we are halfway through the project. I want to thank everybody that has been watching this so far. You are a trooper and you do have patience to paint things like this. So I want to thank you again, and let's continue with the project. After working on this character for a little while, I noticed that it still needed more detail. So what I'm going to do is add some flash and some lightning bolts towards the top of the head to make it more powerful and to seem like it's very energized. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's once again put it all back together and work on the back one more time to finalize the character, and we're almost ready to clear. I am not using a stencil this time around. We're just going to freestyle the dragon, and let's see how that comes out. Alright, we have the basic shape of the dragon. We're gonna add multiple layers of white. This we have a nice base to work off of. Using acrylic paint markers, I'm gonna roughly lay out the colors and figure out where each portion, and try to give the dragon a little bit more a shape. Right now I'm not worried about any details. I just want to block in color. So I want to know where the color is. I want to refine the shape. So that's what I'm doing now. And then later on we're going to come back and add some shadows and highlights and eventually some details. Alright, I'm putting away the markers and bringing out the brush, and I get a lot of details using the brush, so I'm gonna utilize that and start figuring out where the highlights and the shadows are on this particular character, and I'm mainly looking at the body and the way it's kind of wrapping around. And if you notice, I didn't really mix the paint all that well. It's kind of just mashed together, but not really mixed. So I'm looking for different values of different greens. So it kind of makes it a little fun when you do it this way. This way you have different variations of greens, and it doesn't look too, I guess, cartoonish or too flat. So sometimes I like to do that, and you know, once I get down to like really super fine details, then I'll start mixing the paint really good. Right now I just want to have different values, if you will. So this is going to dry and then I'm going to come back and add some highlights. Alright, so far so good. So at this point we have all the values of the colors already laid down, and we're just gonna come back with a little bit of a darker color, either a black or like a dark brown, and just go around and try to get the outlines of the character in there. This way it really pops out. And I'm just gonna come back here and add some highlights, you know, to the eyes and to anything else I need to add to, like the nails on the hands. So obviously the more time that you spend on it, the more you'll find you know, different areas where you want to add more details and stuff like that. I mean, you can spend hours on this and eventually make it look realistic, but this is the way I wanted it to finish, or have that finish. So it's yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, you know, it has some shadows, some highlights. It doesn't look too cartoonish. It looks pretty nice. So I'm gonna call this complete, separate everything and clear it, and we should be done. And this is the final result. Let me know what you guys think of this. Obviously the buttons are still missing and still needs to get put together, but I think it came out really nice. And yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, and there you guys have it. Let me know what you guys think of the controller. I think it came out pretty nice. The colors look very bright, and when you look at it, I mean, it looks super cool. I can't wait to show you guys some other projects that we got going on in the works. Stick around, make sure to subscribe, and this way you can check out my other work and we can do some other cool things together. So I'm going to be focusing not only on art but other customizable stuff, so I want to bring in more variety to show you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy for now. Bye.